What's up, my friends? How you doing? I like the title of this stream in specific because it could be, hey, old school magic rules, or hey, old rules from from the old days of magic. It's open to interpretation, and I can see you guys are already interpreting it. So, let me grab the live stream link. I will share it in the Discord, and then we will have our discourse. All right? 1 second. Let us go and do this. All right, that looks good. That looks good. And one more right here. All right, there we go. Wait, did I just... Nope, I did that in the wrong spot. I did it twice. I hopped around somewhere else, then popped right back to where I was. Like a fool. Like a fool. I'm back in the original starting area. All right, so now that I've successfully navigated my way out of the Discord, let us do our hellos. But I got to make this more civilized with a little bit of tea. So there we go. Keep things calm. Calm and Christmassy. What up, Jess, Millmaster, Error, JC, Kensuke, Teferi, Zircon, Dustin, Jojo, Shade, Shelton. Who else is in here? Spurl, Gossett, Yamagoro, Riley, Everyday, Joe. I think I got everybody. Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Wednesday evening, and I'll just go on the record saying that old school magic is awesome, and also, we can totally talk about the old school rules since you guys have been mentioning a bunch of that stuff in here. What do we got in terms of old magic mentions? Butter My Hatcher in stores this Christmas. That is not old school magic. That's new school magic right there. You know, you see two fresh loaves in the kitchen. It's Christmas time. They're glistening fresh out of the oven. But those aren't loaves. Those are my butt cheeks. Two of them on your Christmas counter, and I've been hidden under some sort of Christmas countertop cover. Merry Christmas! Anyways, Damage on the Stack. Damage on the Stack was interesting with what you could do with it, but from a flavor standpoint, made 0 sense. Creatures damage. They can deal their damage and then disappear, and all of it's like, wait, what? Their damage hangs in the air as if the force of a punch somehow exists after. It's like, I'm punching towards you, and the punch hasn't connected to you, but the essence of the energy of the punch is coming to get you, and it's going to get you regardless of whether I get pulled through a vortex, you know? So, but Damage on the Stack was strong. You could do some silly nonsense with it, right? What was it, Mog Fanatic? Getting 2 out of your 1/1 very easily all day. Taking care of bigger creatures with no issues. Shade, Mana Burn. Yeah, taking damage from unspent mana. What an archaic concept, obviously, right? Because we're talking about super old school stuff with Magic. But ultimately, Mana Burn is on the other side of the situation compared to what we just talked about, where the flavor of it is on point. You have these magical energies that you built up, and you don't have a way to expend them, then, you take damage. But from a gameplay standpoint, it added very little to the game aside from rare corner case, arbitrary punishment, and it didn't really factor too much into real gameplay overall, I feel like. So Mana Burn isn't something that I miss. Ante was fun, playing for each other's cards. That was entertaining. I liked that, but I understand why they stopped that too, because It leads to all kinds of situations, right? Every day says, maybe today will be my lucky day. Daddy needs to get to 48 months on this channel. I'm looking at you, membership lords. I put my hopes in your hands. Jess, your doctor says you're close to becoming pre-diabetic. You got to stop sugar. You're going to try those air up things to get flavor and see if it works. What the hell does that mean? You spraying air up your nose, bro? What up, Heavy Metal? How you doing, my man? Mono artifacts still exist. They're just artifacts that you tap to use. The terminology mono artifact and poly artifact was only around for, they got rid of that at Unlimited, right? It didn't even make it into Revised when they had the tap symbol all sorted out. So I remember that. That trips up people who are used to the new rules, and they're like, wait, I have to tap this artifact? It doesn't say anywhere on here I have to tap it. And it's like, okay. See there? See the mono artifact? That means you have to tap it to use it. It's like, what are you talking about? Yep, batching before the stack, where spells were put on top of each other almost in the same way that they are on the stack, but just done in this group that once the batch started, you couldn't muck about with, really, you know? The batch was messier than the stack system, 100%. Kansuki having 5+ of a card in your deck? Yeah. I mean, part of that, you can have that nowadays by being a beginner and not knowing that there's a limitation of 4 cards. So that experience you can still have now. It's a flavor scent thing that bubbles into water and makes normal water taste like juice. Okay. I see. Fair enough. Fair enough, Jess. Now I understand what that means. Riley, you started playing around New Capenna, so you're not really familiar with any of the old rules. It's understandable. If you only showed up in the last few years. Honestly, I've already forgotten exactly when Capenna released, but I got a pack sitting here, which might have the date if it hasn't been ripped off. Oh, that's the one little piece that was ripped off. The date isn't on here, so... Kansugi interrupts and mana sources. Yup. Dark Ritual being uncounterable because it was considered a mana source is so dumb. 1 black, gain 3 black mana. This spell is uncounterable. What? Heavy Metal, you never understood interrupts versus instants. Interrupts used to be the only way that you could basically counter things. That was you had to do things at interrupt speed to do countering level effects in Magic. So interrupts were ultimately, obviously, unnecessary baggage because switching them to instants has not harmed the game in any noticeable way. There's nothing really has been lost. So it's the simplest thing is the simplest way to think of it is just interrupts were just how you were able to counter stuff back then. There's a few exceptions to this, but as a general rule of thumb, just think of it as the old mechanic that was used to make counter spells fast enough to go zoom, boo, counter your spell. Interrupts versus split second, which wins? Interrupt doesn't exist anymore, right? So there's no rules language for it because every card that had interrupt on it now functionally says instant. So there is no interrupt versus split second. Split second wins because it exists in the rules of Magic now, and interrupt is just an old, outdated word for instant. New Capenna came out in April of 2022. All right. That sounds about right to me. Everyday legend only 1 at a time on any battlefield? Yup. There used to be a rule where when it came to a legendary creature, only 1 person could have a copy of it out, and whoever put that legendary out first got it. And then they changed the rule to you could each have a copy of the legendary out, but that's it. You can't cast any of the other copies of it that are in your hand. And then they changed it to, yeah, you can cast them if they're in your hand and he's out, but you got to pick one in play and sacrifice it. So that has changed over time. Are instants or interrupts faster? Interrupts are faster. Interrupts are faster. That interrupts were the technology that you needed to interrupt batches in Magic the Gathering. That's how that worked. To interrupt the action. I'm countering your stuff, bro. Shroud, hey yo, compared to Hexproof. I mean, Shroud's not as old school. It is old. I haven't even, I guess, defined what old school is. And honestly, Magic's been around for 30 years, so old school's gonna vary. I'm not gonna be too much of a stickler. Shroud is a definitely older, outmoded ability that was solid when it came out, right? It was fine. This thing can't be targeted at all is pretty sweet, but then they came up with Hexproof, which is way more satisfying, where it's like, you can't target it, I can. And that makes more sense as a beneficial ability anyways. So Shroud could be used as a way of restricting the strength of a card by making it so that you can't target it, even though it's your own card, to stop things from getting out of control with it. But ultimately, Hexproof is more viscerally satisfying as an ability, right? Green Stompies used to run 4 Academy Ruins to get yours down on the play to be able to play Magic. You want to cast spells? You better be going first. Was there always the rule you can only have 4 copies of a card max in a standard deck? In standard, yes. Standard was originally called Type 2, and it was introduced in the 90s. Standard came after I started playing Magic, and it was weird at first because we were used to playing Magic where it was like, you just play Magic. We have a list of restricted and banned cards, but other than that, play whatever. And then Type 2 came along, and we're like, okay, all right, yeah, I'll give it a try. It's all right. And then you get into it. But the 4 of rule came into effect way earlier. But the game didn't start with a 4 of rule, partially because Richard Garfield didn't really envision people going ham on the game the way they did. He just thought, you know how like some people have a board game? Imagine you bought like 2 Magic decks as a board game to toss on your shelf or something like that. Or maybe 3 or 4 of your friends, you all bought a starter deck and maybe 2 of you bought a booster, right? So you look at the amount of cards you're going to have. Does it even matter? Do you need to worry about 4 of rules? But Magic took off way more than expected. So people are super into it and they're going hardcore. I'm going to put all this craziness. I'm going to get so many cards. So Plague Rats was something that was a little more fun before that point. It's like, it's the precursor for your deck can have any number of these cards. It's the first one ever made in terms of Plague Rats are equal to the number of other Plague Rats you have out. So if you have 3 of them out, they're 3/3 and so on. Like the ones you see now that say you can have any number in your deck, Plague Rats didn't say that. But at the beginning of Magic, there was no 4 of rule. So your deck could have any number of Plague Rats. And that scaling based on the amount of them you have and the unlimited nature of it is totally where that first came from. Wasn't there a short time where it was 1 legend on the battlefield, but you sacrifice yours if someone played a new copy? Maybe. Honestly, there's been so many shifts and it's been so many years that you could have some rules changes that I have completely let slip my mind. Did they change it in Kamigawa so that you could play a legend of the same name to take out your opponent's legend or something like that? Because obviously Kamigawa is where they went ham with legendaries, and they did it in previous sets too, like the actual legend set. But they went ham with legendaries in Kamigawa. And I do think there was a new legendary rule for then too, right? That does tickle something. That was 1 million years ago. Everyday old school rules, no sleeves. That's true. We didn't use sleeves at all. I didn't put rubber bands around my cards because I didn't like the way they would leave these weird little indents on the side of the cards. I just didn't like that. It wasn't about preserving the value of the cards or making sure the cards stayed pristine, because that was not a concern at all. It was just a deck of playing cards. It was the same as any other board game, essentially, when you first grabbed it. And then the game grabbed you by the ball bag. It was like, you're mine now, and we're going hardcore. And you say, yeah, let's go. Let's go. Shade, is hexproof flavorful? Well, I mean, Shroud is magic that protects a creature so it can't be targeted, right? Hexproof is the same thing, except you've been smart enough to ensure that your magics can reach through the magic. So your magic is complex enough that it can determine whether, oh, is this friend or foe's magic? Oh, I'll let the friend magic through. I'll let the foe magic not come through. All right. So magic shielding that can determine specifically to let your magic through works for me, man. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Jess, you have a house rule in Commander. If you mulligan after your free one, you take 3 life unless your hand has no land in it or is all land. All right, that's very specific. What up, Christ? You chasing a squirrel, bro? What's going on? Kamigawa was when they cleaned up the creature type line too. They made super types and legendary was one. Yeah, that's true. It's crazy to think that legendary was a creature type for a while in Magic, where you could just be like, I'll make your creature into a legendary creature with artificial evolution or whatever. What up, Dustin? I'm doing good, buddy. Spurl, we laughed at people who used sleeve back in the day. Now it's opposite. I remember seeing people with their decks, some of them in the decks and penny sleeves, and I thought that was odd. The people who played with their decks entirely in top loaders, that was bonkers to me. Like, I played my Lotus, my Moxes, my Time Walk Ancestral, all the Power 9, Library of Alexandria, all that stuff unsleeved. I almost accidentally bent my Lotus in half. Was there a short time where legendaries won per deck? If there was, I never really knew of it. That was never a rule when I was playing. And I started when Legends was literally out on the shelves. So, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Summon Legend. Yeah, Otto. The summon instead of just creature is so much more enjoyable from a flavor perspective. But I understand that to make it simpler for people. Hey, creatures. Well, what counts as a creature? If it says summon, well, why doesn't it just say creature, right? A little bit of simplification. You do lose a bit of flavor, but I'm fine with that to clean up some game mechanic action. I'm fine with that. Riley, you have a friend who's having major money problems due to card trouble and stuff that said to me it's just a piece of cardboard in reference to rifle shuffling a $100 card. Magic has like a strange effect on people and the way they think about it and view it. I know people who have a bunch of debt and they have a whole bunch of Magic cards, like a whole bunch of Magic cards that they could just sell to chunk down that debt. And it's not like, oh, sell the deck you play all the time. It's like, bro, you've got binders and binders and binders. And there's so much value in those cards. And I know for a fact you're not using a majority of them. They are just existing in your possession. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with having piles of Magic cards. I love me some Magic cards. But at a certain point, you just go, you'd be financially better off if you were to turn some of your cardboard rectangles into money rectangles, bro. You know? There's like, I've always had that balance. I never kept all, I'm gonna fucking starve and keep these cardboards. You know? I've sold off stuff to get money to pay my rent and whatever else. So I'm just saying, with this dude, he could just take some of the cards he has, sell them off, pay off a nice chunk of that debt, still have tons of cards, like crazy amounts of cards. He's got so much. It's like, you got a set of fetch lands. Check out these new fetch lands I got from the new set, and it's like, don't you already have complete play sets of all the fetch lands? Yeah, but now I got all these extra ones. You know, like. Gonzo, you shuffle your commander deck like a normal deck of cards, but you have the dual lands in it. Watch people freak out. Oh yeah, I had tons of duels in my deck, man. All kinds of like crazy cards that I'm not gonna play unshuffled now, because screw that, man. I'm not gonna beat up my cards when other people value them and want them in better condition. I accede to the overall desire to keep the cards looking good. So for me, my days of playing unsleeved, like, good Magic cards, they are over. I will play at the pre-release or whatever else. If I don't have sleeves, I'll play without sleeves in those kind of events. But nah, man. All the old school goodness that I get gets double sleeved now. You putting something in the cube, double sleeve it. I like protecting my cards that are worth protecting. That's that for me. So people want to go hardcore and beat up their cards and keep playing with them, cool. But for me, I got to protect it. Everyday Lords used to boost everyone's creature. That's right. It was a symmetrical boost that affected both players. I did not like that nearly as much as just my guys get a boost. That was one of the cool things about kobolds, right? Weren't the kobold lords only affecting your kobolds? Dustin, yeah, I do remember that, man. Millmaster, you remember playing against the guy with laminated beta duels in Power 9? I get that. I considered laminating some of my cards at some point to protect them from spills, and so people would stop asking me for them. Right? Just like, nah. I started to write my name on a Library of Alexandria because people kept asking me for it. And I'm like, stop asking me to trade this. So I took a pen and I started to write Mike on it in like a big, like I was doing a big M. And so I did that first long streak, but there was no ink in the pen, or the ink wasn't coming out, whatever it is. You know, when you go to use a pen and you're trying to write and the pen's like, you're like, come on, you fucking bitch. So anyways, I didn't end up getting any ink on the card, but now there's a Library of Alexandria out there somewhere in the world that has a big long dent in it from where I pushed the pen down into it to start writing my name on it. Spurl, you're going to bring Splinter Twin to your LGS. Nice, man. Nice. Every day, yeah. In the earliest days of Magic, there was no tap symbol. That's true. Well, Master Drain Power worked. Oh, yeah. Yep. And yeah, Drain Power was pretty sweet. Stealing all your opponent's mana for 2 blue. Riley, you double sleeve certain cards, but not all of them. Your boyfriend keeps telling you that makes them marked, but you can't tell the difference between your single and double sleeve stuff, so you don't get it. Well, double sleeved cards are thicker. Not by that much, but by enough that in a technical sense, you could get in trouble for it in a tournament, because you've got particular cards that, to somebody who knows the difference between a single and double sleeved card by feel, you could just go, all my lands are double sleeved, so now I know I'm getting a land. So technically, if we're talking about tournaments, yeah. If he's just talking about you playing one-on-one or whatever, or just playing casual games with friends, I would recommend going and getting, apparently there's glasses you can get that can read invisible ink or whatever, and I would just get those and an invisible ink pen, and I would write on the back of every sleeve what every card was. and I would just start cheating like a motherfucker. Because if I'm going to get hassled about double sleeving my cards in a casual fucking game of Magic where we're just chilling, sitting around the kitchen table, then I'm going to go full fucking tilt. And I'm literally, it's like, what are these are my new gaming glasses. Talking about at the local game store, if you're at the game store playing with other people, people get bent out of shape about shit. And absolutely, you could end up with somebody actually getting pissy about it. So if you're going to double sleeve cards in your deck, you should double sleeve all the cards. You know, that's just the reality. That is the reality. If you're playing with a group of friends and people you know and it's no big deal, don't worry about it. If you're going to a game store and playing with people, especially with people you don't know, then double sleeve those cards. Absolutely. Vincent, you think people were using penny sleeves when Ice Age came out? There were some people who were penny sleeving their decks back then. Everyday poisoning someone wasn't a winning strategy. Yeah, poison was not easy to do to people. The poison cards sucked like swamp mosquito because they relied on getting through unblocked, and then they would just deliver one poison counter. So there was no way to go, triangle, get 8 poison counters, blah, 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 like you could with the little 1/1 infect douchebags, right? Riley, suppose you can ask if people are cool with it before we start? Oh, okay, let's run through how that goes. Hey, so I have a deck where some of my cards are double sleeved and some of my cards aren't double sleeved, okay? And like it's just based on if I like the card and maybe because it's valuable and whatever, but it doesn't give me a strategic advantage. Are you guys okay with that? And if they say yes, all right, you're fine. What if they say no? Oh, okay, hold on. Well, I brought extra sleeves, and so I need to. There's 35 cards roughly in the deck that aren't double sleeved. So if you guys can just wait for us to start the pod, where I painstakingly take 30 plus cards out of sleeves and then put them into 2 fucking sleeves because I couldn't be bothered to be considerate enough to just fucking double sleeve it in the first place before I came down to the fucking game store. The problem is, most people aren't going to give a shit and you'll be fine. But there's always going to be dick bags, man. There's always going to be pissy people. There will be people who will, listen, there will be people who will agree to it before games and go, hey, yeah, that's fine. It works this way, just like you're saying. And then when you win, they'll be like, no, but this. And you're like, bro, we talked about that before the game started and you agreed. Their brain will just start grasping for it. So you can be opening yourself up to drama and bullshit at the game store. Either all double sleeved or no double sleeved. No exceptions. 100%. 100%. Your fucking boyfriend's doing you a favor, trying to save you from some serious hassle. Gonzo, your LGS 86, 2 people for getting crazy, fighting angry during FNM. It's wild. It's wild how worked up some people get, man. 100%. Once upon a time, that's true. You actually had to de-sleeve your decks if you were going to play in the Pro Tour. You had to de-sleeve your deck. And there was a time frame where you were allowed to use sleeves unless your opponent insisted that you didn't use sleeves, which led to an insanely hilarious strategy where people who were going to face off against decks that had Black Lotus, Mox, all the big expensive cards back then, they used Soldier of Fortune, which is a 1/1. You pay 1 red and tap it. Target player shuffles their deck. So this deck's concept was, I'm going to make you play without sleeves, and I'm going to make you shuffle your deck over and over and over. So it attempted to use basic concepts outside of the actual game mechanics of what was going on in terms of, hey, guess what? You know the valuable cards in your deck? You're going to shuffle them over and over and over. I'm going to make you beat up your Black Lotus, your ancestral recall. Like, imagine that. Imagine you took your most expensive magic deck to your buddy's house, and he was like, there's a new rule that says I can make you play without sleeves. And you're just like, okay. I don't really like that, but all right. You de-sleeve your deck, and then he just starts making you shuffle your deck over and over, and you just be like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. No, screw it. I concede. You win. And they got their wins through financial concession. Fisher, you once had someone try to rules lawyer you for keeping your commander in a hard case, same sleeve, so it's best to have everything the same no matter the circumstances. Never trust a Magic player. That's right, Shade. That's right. A completely sideways way to win. And you have to respect the ingenuity of it, right? That is a pretty clever response from the, we don't have these big expensive cards, but I can get a tactical advantage by forcing you to shuffle. It's a very clever maneuver. Gonzo, you just got the fairest drop of all. Nice. That had some sweet looking artwork. 100%. Yamagro says, anyone who insists that I can remove my sleeves can go straight to hell. No passing go. No stopping by to say goodbye to your mother. It's straight to hell, says Yamagoro. Straight to hell. Yeah, I'm going to make you shuffle your whole deck. Ridiculous. Oh, man. Me and Carly went to the mall today, and I don't go to the mall very often, but I thought it would be interesting to go. It's closer to Christmas. We thought maybe we could find a Christmas sweater for me. In that regard, the only place, there was like maybe 2 or 3 places that had Christmas sweaters, and it was just garbage. Everything was garbage with the exception of some funny shirts, but they all had lights built into them. So it's a kind of shirt you can't wash, that's a no-go for me because I end up spilling food and stuff on my shirts all the time. I should have a fucking bib, bro. That's how often I just look down. I'll go and take a shower, put on fresh, clean, snapping new threads, sit down and eat, look down. There's like a fucking huge pasta stain on my shirt. I'm like, I've been wearing this shirt for fucking 45 minutes and it's already dirty. And you're going to give me a shirt I can never wash? Oh yeah, it's spot clean. Also, we have our prices in American prices, and it's like, you want fucking 70 American dollars for a sweater I can't wash? What the fuck is this? 70 American dollars? This is gonna, with the taxes and exchange rate, you want $120 for this sweater. You can suck both of my nuts. I wish I could manifest a third to jam in your mouth for these prices. Are you out of your fucking mind? So, I didn't get a Christmas sweater. I did not get a Christmas sweater. Unfortunately. But there's some weird thing going on. I don't know if the government just said to stores, guess what? You can sell treats tax-free for a bit, because apparently multiple places are doing it. But the one store had freeze-dried candy on sale with no tax. I was like, oh, all right. So these are gummy sharks. I got freeze-dried gummy sharks. I always wanted to try freeze-dried candy, but the prices they wanted for it were obtuse, and I was not going to pay them. But it's the Christmas season, and I didn't get a sweater, so I wanted to get something. So this is what I opted. This is what I opted for. And I am most likely going to crack this open and try these tonight. Probably right here on the stream, actually. Kansuki, the exchange rate to Canadian is getting up there. It's true. I like to benefit from it, not get hosed by it. Store wants me to pay in American, go to hell. People super chat me in American. Oh yes, my dick engorges with delight over the financification plus the extra exchange rate. Thank you, money Jesus. There's 2 different directions, right? Millmaster, you don't have any tax on any grocery item at all? Nice. There's different things that get taxed and not taxed. And when it comes to our groceries, and I don't understand. A very basic understanding tells me, well, just basic items like milk, fruit, vegetables, like these basic essential items or whatever, don't have tax. So the ingredients that go into other things don't have tax, but anything that's basically been processed or turned into something, a bag of potatoes has no tax. A bag of potato chips does, because it's been processed and a bunch of stuff has happened to it, and now you gotta fucking pay tax on it. Which is mostly how it feels. But then I bought a cheesecake and there was no tax. And I was like, why is there no tax on a fucking cheesecake? I don't understand. I can buy a deep and delicious cake and it's taxed. But cheesecakes aren't taxed. I don't understand. I don't get it. Just buy a vacuum chamber, make anything I want freeze dried. Oh, what a fucking useful suggestion. If I'm like, oh, I want to have a banana. You should fucking start your own plantation. If you had a fucking banana plantation, you'd have as many bananas you wanted anytime. Well, fucking wow, bro. Hey, you want a steak? You should get a cattle ranch. Because then you'd have all these cows and you could have steak whenever you wanted. That's you right now. Fuck you. Shelton, the package. Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow. Hopefully everything you put in there is intact. I hope that the vial of poisonous, earth-destroying, what is it? Virus? What was it in 12 Monkeys? I hope that 12 Monkeys vial that you sent hasn't broken open yet. Riley, some of the food ain't taxed. Mailmaster, you sure the wine had like 10 different taxes on it? Oh, yeah, I mean, depending on what you buy. You buy technology, there's all these extra fucking taxes and shit. And they just put them on the receipt, just look at it and go, what is this? Just keep pinching your ball bag a little. Bam, bam, bam. Juggle them, don't gummies have a pretty good shelf life? How long were they sitting around before someone said we got to freeze dry and repackage these things? I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. Are you trying to piss on my enjoyment, bro? I'm supposed to be excited about having freeze-dried astronaut sharks where I can pretend I'm fucking floating in space. I'll make Carly fucking hold me up in her arms while she's crying. Let me put you down. You're so heavy and it hurts and my disability. And while she's crying, I'll be like, shut up. I'm an astronaut. I'm floating. Higher. Push me higher. Stop crying. I'm going to have my astronaut food. I'm supposed to enjoy this. Why are you trying to diminish my enjoyment, Juglum? Huh? Huh? Jess, is it different than owning an oven and cooking at home? Is owning a cattle ranch different than owning an oven and cooking at home? Is it? Is it? Kenzie says vacuum chambers don't freeze dry. There's also that. Oh, Millmaster, you definitely know they double tax your herb because you saw the recipes tonight. Uh-huh. You done smoked yourself stupid. Don't even tell me you didn't double tax me down at that store. I saw the recipes. Oh, God. What has this guy been doing? Huffing the fucking tailpipe behind a vehicle? Oh, bro, don't even try and tell me, man. I've seen the recipes. All right? I've seen them. I've seen them. Air freeze dries gummies sound weird. Yeah. Yeah, it does sound weird, doesn't it? You understand freeze dried ice cream. Looking at it, I mean, if you look at them, it'll be easier when I take them out of the bag. But they definitely are considerably different. Juggle them, you're sure they're pretty awesome? I don't think so. You think they're old and crappy, right? Right? And that's a reflection on me. You think I'm old and crappy and past my shelf life and I should be freeze-dried. But fuck you, hate monger. That ain't gonna happen. Fisher has a vacuum chamber for sealing rats for shipping. This is some serial killer shit. We found a vacuum chamber he used to seal rats. We assume for shipping, but he was also firing them into people's butts. It's very weird. It's very weird. We're dealing with a sick individual. I like to ship rats through the mail. I like to let my family members know what I think of them. I just send them rats. Jess, I want a magical ice wand to freeze my foods, bro. All right? That's what I want. That's what I want. What up, beef? The change of language in Magic you think contributes to a less enjoyable play experience? Counterspell having an equivalent of you didn't say please. Isn't there a uncard where you have to ask permission or your spells get countered? I'm pretty sure there is. Riley, you had cinnamon raisin bread toast for breakfast. Does that count as cake breakfast? I don't, it depends on the ingredients in the bread, but I don't automatically consider. I don't think of having bread for breakfast as having cake. But the more candified you make it, the less it moves away from just being bread, right? So, I mean, raisins are good for you. Having some cinnamon in your bread is fine. I like buttered toast with some cinnamon sugar on it sometimes. So, I feel like that is not how I would start my breakfast. That toast is a little too out there for my breakfast, but nah, it ain't cake. Paul Super Chat says, where do you think Magic is going if Elon actually buys Hasbro? To the moon or to Mars? It's funny. I hadn't read the second half of your Super Chat, and I was like, I should just say Magic's going to Mars. And then you already beat me to it. He's literally going to move the Pro Tour to Mars, bro. So, bad news. I don't know if you guys have looked at a lot of the people on the Pro Tour, but I don't think they're going to survive the fucking 0 Gs and the fucking weird white juice you have to have jammed into your body. You know what I'm talking about from The Expanse? Like when they have to go into that, they're gonna. How about this, Paul? How about this, bro? This right here is what they're gonna look like. This is what they're gonna look like. They're gonna basically be like freeze-dried, dead shark fish guys. You know what The Expanse did really well is space combat deaths, where somebody gets shot and then they're just hanging there because of the fucking gravity instead of collapsing. I found that to be really striking. The first 3 seasons of The Expanse were enjoyable, and then it kind of rolls off the edge of a cliff, right? Jess using super cooled gas electric plasma. Let's do it. Spurl, quit giving you the Canadian cold air. Listen, bro. Listen. You don't want to be freezing? $38. $38, or I'm gonna have them send even more freezing cold at you, bro. This is my new hustle. I'm gonna control the weather, and holy shit. Kikoshi, did you just say $38 after I did, man? Because if not, that's a very random thing to have typed in just as I was saying it. Paul, if you could eat cake for breakfast, that would make you so happy. Why would you not? Why would you not? Cake for breakfast is like, I'm just starting my day off miserably. If I'm eating cake for breakfast, I'm going to have a bad fucking day. I already know it. It's deranged. Riley, you like zero gravity magic? Well, there's lots of instances of that. Paul, your teeth, you need to save them for your elder years. You can fucking brush your teeth after breakfast. Did nobody tell you that? You can eat cake without your teeth falling out, man. You can have cake for breakfast. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to. Canada's too cold. I don't know, man. I don't know. It hasn't felt as cold here lately. For real. Juggling pancakes. Pancakes for breakfast. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I can handle that. I can handle that. Sometimes. Sometimes. Having a bunch of syrup and pancakes in the morning. Half the time it comes back and you're just like, I think I've made a mistake here. I like to have a protein-rich breakfast. That is the most desirable way to start the day for me. I don't do it in the utmost healthiest way, considering it's bacon and eggs, but it's delicious, bro. It's delicious. If I had to eat only one meal for the rest of my life, every meal, it'd be bacon and eggs, man. It'd be bacon and eggs. That's how I start my day anyways. I'm pretty much never unhappy having it unless I go to a breakfast restaurant that is terrible and overpriced and you pay a ridiculous amount. They end up charging you like $25 for bacon and eggs when you're on like holiday or whatever. Oh, that sounds so fancy. On holiday. Like I go on holiday. 2 weeks in the Alps or whatever. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. You go to another city. You're staying somewhere overnight. You go to one of these breakfast joints and you get reamed. You get reamed price-wise. And then the food is fucking dumpster dog shit. And you're just completely unhappy. Pancakes that don't taste like anything, you know? How do you ruin bacon and eggs? Exactly. I mean, you can have crappy eggs that you've cooked in literally no grease or anything that gives it any kind of flavor. And you can have shit bacon. I've been to places that have had complete garbage bacon. I'm like, this looks like bacon, but it does not seem like bacon. How do I like my eggs? Over easy. Over wheezy. Bill Master, those space directives are getting way too specific. What up, Goddard? How you doing, bro? How you doing? Chicken bacon. Ew. I've had turkey bacon, and that's horse shit. So, I mean, chicken bacon's going to be garbage too, bro. It's going to be garbo too. All right. I'm going to try these, but you know what? I've been having tea for a while, so why don't before I try them, I'm going to have some water. I'll have some water and let my taste buds have a little bit of a break from the taste of that tea, so that I can try these freeze-dried. I've wanted to try freeze-dried candy for years, but it was never at the right price point and never that enticing. I had never seen the freeze-dried shark gummies, so a lot of the freeze-dried stuff I saw were Skittles, but I don't really care about Skittles. I don't really like Skittles, so I don't eat Skittles frequently enough to feel like I can do a proper contrasting of the experience. You know? But these kind of gummies, I like gummies, and we end up getting random tubs of gummies, so these sharks inevitably end up in them, and I am familiar with what they're like, so. What up, Rex? Kakoshi, you like the mug? Yeah, I like big fat mugs. It's satisfying to have a big beverage. Error, forget that. Canadian bacon can get out of here. No way. Gonzo, blue candy looks gross. You look gross. How about that? Does Canada have bubblegum flavored things? Yes. Yes. Paul, if it's not pork, it's not bacon. Exactly. Kensuke, you like freeze-dried sour Skittles. All right. Jowl cured. What an expression. Jess, you put Skittles in the freezer? I never really put many candies in the freezer, except the old Macintosh, like, toffee bar things or whatever. Put those in the freezer because otherwise getting a piece off of them was really difficult. Sparl, it's the circle of life, bro. Riley, bacon cheeseburger for dinner. That sounds good. 100%. Beefquake, you want maple bacon every day? I would go with regular bacon. Maple bacon's alright, though. Dank, have I been playing any video games? Mostly right now, I've been playing Arena and Minecraft. Are there any Eldrazi worms? Yeah, there's definitely. There's Phyrexian worms for sure. Charleston chews in the freezer. I've had Charleston chew. Maple syrup and waffles. Yeah, maple syrup on pancakes, maple syrup and waffles. Absolutely, 100%. Jojo, you want a BLT now? Get you that goodness, man. Get you that goodness. All right, a little more water. A little more water. Get the mouth ready for this weird freeze-driedness. It says, light, airy, crunchy, and packed with flavor. A crunchy, yummy treat for anyone who loves shark gummy candies. Everyone will love them. And it's best before 2026. So, we're going to eat like astronauts. This is how they do it in space, bro. Paul, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go to Mars for the Magic the Gatherings. Wow, makes them so much bigger looking. Look at this sad blue dong. You guys, who likes knobbly Smurf dick? Okay. All right. How well can you see that? Hold on. Let me move this stuff out of the way here. Bear, you wanted to make a breakfast sandwich with donuts instead of toast? Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude. All right. So this is what it looks like. It kind of looks like rock candy. And the gummy is like rock hard. You hear that? Looks like a blue cheese puff. Yep, it does. It does. With a white underbelly. Doesn't really have much of a smell. It does look like an old cheesy almost. It's got these like gigantic pockmark holes in it and stuff. All right, well, here goes nothing. Let's see what they're like. So the top part of this is totally like a cheesy with all the pockmarks and full of air. And it kind of crunches and dissolves at the same time. The bottom piece here, the white piece, did not have that happen to it. It maintained, it's pretty much the same way it was on the regular gummy. So it's a lot harder to break through, but it is definitely very crunchy on its own as well. Feels like it tastes different. Toothbreakers. There's some crunch to them, man. I feel like I need to get a regular blue shark gummy and try one at the same, like try them side by side, basically. But overall, it's almost a little too crunchy, like stab your mouth kind of crunchy. Definitely a different experience when eating a gummy, though. The texture and concept. It kind of brutalizes your mouth a bit, like similar to Captain Crunch, you know? I can feel along the roof of my mouth in particular spots now the same kind of abuse that you get from eating Captain Crunch. So that wouldn't preclude me from trying other freeze-dried candies, but maybe ones that don't have as many. Like you almost bite down and create your own sharp edges with it. And some of the other things I saw, like the Skittles, were little spheres. So might turn out differently. Petri, this isn't a Wonka candy. It's wonky. It's wonky. Hey, Gonzo Bob H Super Chat says, here's $10 for some real candy. Like chocolate. Haha. Well, you know what? I'm gonna agree with you. Thanks for the Super Chat. I'm gonna agree with you that chocolate absolutely would be better than this. I mean, if it's like, it doesn't even have to be good chocolate. It just needs to be middle of the road chocolate, and it's better. The top of my mouth hurts from that fucking thing. But still, I bet you I'll eat more of it. It lasts for a long time, so it can just be something random to bring out for other people to try too who have not had it. All right, Gonzo, you are Lord of the Board. Thanks for the Super Chat. I will enjoy some chocolate. Dark chocolate. Now you're making it. Now you're just making it sexual. Thompson, what's up, bro? How you doing? Jess, ice cream's 40% air. Your brain is 40% air. And it will also expand like crazy when put in a vacuum. A fucking vacuum cleaner. We're going to take your brain, fill it with some more air, Jess. Puff it up. And then we're going to have it power a Roomba. A Roomba that will get returned because it don't work right. It's like, oh, it's that Jess brain. You just got to pump more air into it. And then take one of those compressed air cans and just jam it in there. Thompson, you'll FedEx the package tomorrow? Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Let me know when you do, son. Habanero Captain Crunch. Now 62% more fiberglass in every bite. Crunchitize me, Captain. I crunchitized my mouth. I crunchitized my mouth. Oh, shit, I just noticed. Gonzo, that's your first Super Chat ever. Well, congratulations on becoming a Super Chatter and being Lord of the Board. It's always... hold on. I got to heart that, too. Bam. Look at that. They let me heart that. I like all these extra little things that YouTube keeps adding in here. I never really had the Crunch Berries. I remember Captain Crunch, but I never had the Crunch Berries. Gonzo also knows the pain of the destroyed Captain Crunch mouth. But you still want it. You want that sugar candy cereal. Let's go. Petri, just add milk to your bowl of sharks. Oh, the idea, like, this is so sugary and sweet. The idea of adding this to milk, you know? Vincent, you want an animated magic movie? Yeah, with Urza and Mishra and some of those big-titted mermaids. Let's get some slutbag mermaids for the Magic the Gathering movie. And credits. End credits. Ball gargling mermaid. This is not your grandfather's Magic the Gathering. Oh my god, the Sirens of Ballbag Cove. Strangers down with that sliver action. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. Oh. So, we went to the mall, like I said. No luck with the Christmas sweaters. got this because I wanted to try it and I thought it'd be fun to do it on stream. So I was like, I'll grab these. And I took Carly to the food court to get one of those little combo setups where you can get rice and a couple different meats, you know? One of those little Asian fooderies with some deliciousness. So we ordered up some chicken and rice, and this little old man rolled up in his, well, I guess he didn't roll up per se. He was already kind of there. He just rolled a little forwards to Carly and started talking to her. And I couldn't figure out what the fuck he was saying because Carly had her cart with her and he was talking about having 6 carts and knocking the side out. And then he was just, it was one of those things where you just kind of go, like, but you have no idea what the fuck the person's saying. You're just humoring them to be nice. It's one of those. And so the food's ready. And this guy in the wheelchair is in the way talking to Carly. So I walk around and go to the counter to get my food. And then when I sit down, Carly tells me what that guy said to her. And he was basically said, oh, to Carly, oh, you're so nice. Not like her. She's mean. She bosses me around and tells me what to do. Like, this is an old guy with his old wife on her walker or whatever. And he's saying to Carly, oh, and then Carly was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he was like, oh, you're so nice. Not like that thing over there. Talking about his woman. He called her that thing. It was ridiculous. I can't believe I missed that shit. I just walked over to get the food. They offered chicken lips? You go into the store, they had chickens hanging? Crazy. I don't think I need chicken lips. Juggling that's funny? Yeah, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Yeah, this'll do. This will do. All right. I've got... oh, wait. Never mind. Never mind. That's not what the plan was. I forgot what the plan was. The plan for today is part of the 12 Days of Christmas that we're doing. The plan for today is to open up a pack of Chronicles. But I want to record that as a separate video as well. So we're going to open it in the live stream. I've got the pack of Chronicles here. We're going to open the live stream and go through the cards. But I'm going to upload it afterwards on the Hatcher channel. So that part will be basically we'll end off this stream, but the stream won't end, just the recording will, right? So if you're watching the stream afterwards, you're not going to see the Chronicles opening on this live stream. It will be over on the Hatcher channel to watch whenever you want. But for the people who are here in the stream, we will be doing it live. That's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to go. Come on, Dan. Yeah, Dan is the second most desirable common in it. Get an anti-card. Oh, like jeweled bird. Feet and lips and a carcass. Throw that in your Instant Pot with some onions and carrots. An hour later, you got some bomb chicken stock. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Sounds all right. Making your own chicken stock. Carly hasn't done that kind of stuff much. The previous lady I was with, she made some really good chicken noodle soup with the chicken bones. Plucats, have I seen lips on a beakered bird? A beaked bird? Nope. That's... they're butthole lips. That's what chicken lips are. Oh, man. Yeah, Kenski, Ursulans are in there as well, man. I made a little list of some of the desirable cards, and we'll look at those as well. We'll look at all of that. Chronicles is old school and rare enough in terms of random boosters that I felt like a bunch of the 12 Days of Christmas stuff we're doing are just open the pack during the stream or whatever. And that's what I was doing. I was grabbing a Foundations pack to do that because I forgot that I had pulled out the Chronicle stuff and set it aside. It's like, yeah, we're doing Chronicles today. It's 1 week to Christmas, so we're doing Christmas Chronicles. If you go to the 7-Eleven in Shanghai, there are packets of chicken feet and shrink wraps. Yeah, it's funny the different things that people eat in different parts of the world, you know? Some things that are acceptable in one place are like, no, we don't do that here. Like other places, yeah, we eat dog. And it's like, we don't eat dog over here. We ain't eating no dogs here, bro. I mean, if they're delicious enough. But I wouldn't eat chicken feet, bro. Nah, I would not eat chicken feet. Too gross. Too gross. Hell, and when I eat like a drumstick of chicken or whatever, I just eat the particular meat chunks off it. The people who devour everything off and leave a bone, that ain't me. That ain't me. Millmaster, what? A pickle jar full of Hawaiian punch and dill pickles? That is a very weird thing. Sproul, what's the weirdest thing I remember eating? Weirdest? I don't know. Eel? Ugh, so gross. Very gross. Gonzo, dog sausage isn't good. You live internationally. Yeah, I live in international waters. We trade dog sausages and eat all kinds of other weird stuff. Mostly we eat dogs and dolphins. It's all about the getting your D in your food pyramid. You know, you gotta have foods to start with D. Yeah. Dog sausage, no thanks, man. No thanks. Bill Master, you're eating chorizos made out of mules? Donkey meat? I don't know. My mouth still feels the impact of this thing, bro. This is something else. Yeah, they sound like rocks. Sounds like a bag of rocks, bro. Jess, that sounds like the flavor text for a ridiculous card. Hatcher collects souls through the action of getting super chats, and it powers him through bacon. That's that. Turn super chats into bacon meat. Turn bacon meat into more me, and the circle of life continues forevermore. Juggling, would I buy the candy again? This one, no. But it's made me curious about what other freeze-dried candies are like. So this definitely hasn't turned me into I have no interest in any freeze-dried candy. It's just this particular meh. But I'm curious to see what it would do to some other things. I might even try the freeze-dried Skittles at some point. That's right, Gonzo. Flavor text indeed. Rex, what? Pan con polo? I don't even know what the hell that is, man. Is that, it's got corn? Something about that says corn to me, man. Ew, eating octopus? Nah. No, man. I only tried that eel because I was at an all-you-could-eat expensive restaurant, and I just wanted to feel like I was trying something new and something that would justify the increased price of the place. And so I had eel, and I did not enjoy it, and I did not feel like it justified the price that I paid. But at least it was something. At least it was something. And sometimes that's all you got, right? And you know, like Bon Jovi says, we got to hold on to what we got. But I'll say it does make a difference if we make it or not. Cody, you like Japanese barbecue eel? I'm never having eel again, son. Millmaster, eel sauce is 1,000% better than eel itself. Well, the eel was awful. So, Japanese octopus. I just don't like seafood. I don't like seafood. Jess, you lived on a boat in Mexico for 10 days. Were you held prisoner? Were you held prisoner on a boat in Mexico? Did they take a couple of your organs, bro? You had half-day-old shrimp? So would you just keep getting shrimp and letting it sit out for half a day and eating it? Sperl, even lobster? Yeah, no, I don't like lobster. Got no interest in it. None. It's funny, too, because I'm from the Maritimes, right? I'm literally from a small fishing village, and everybody in my family loves seafood. Like, everybody. Extended family, like, everybody. They all are into seafood, and I'm not. So they'd be having these big seafood fests, and I'd be in the fucking corner with my hot dog in a piece of bread and happy to have it. Give me that. Give me a fucking hot dog with a piece of bread, peanut butter sandwich, something, man. Something. Got no interest in any of the seafood. Rex, it's shredded chicken and French bread with a boiled egg and radish. Oh, that's different. That's different. I'm not honestly that super adventurous with my foods because a lot of stuff ends up being very disappointing to me, and I don't want it. But at the same time, I know if you don't try things, how are you supposed to find the things that you enjoy? You could never enjoy the things you enjoy if you never tried them in the first place, right? Yeah, no octopus, no eel, none of it. None of it. Shelton, no, that old chestnut, huh, buddy? I'm on a seafood diet. I see food, I eat it. Ho ho! All right, Larry, have a good one, buddy. Peterson, what's up? You watched my best of 2024 video. You're amazed I took that long to see John Wick and Equalizer. Your amazement is fair because both of those movies were awesome. And I was blown away by the Equalizer sequence in the hardware shop. Like, just blown away by it. So, ultimately... Oh my god, that reminds me, guys. You know the phrase taken aback? You know? Like, I was taken aback, which pretty much universally means I was surprised in a negative way. I got contacted by somebody who's obviously not a native English speaker, and they sent me an email going, "Hi, we want to collaborate with you. We found your awesome channel and we're taken aback by your videos." And I just started laughing when I read it. I was like, what the fuck? Taken aback? That is pretty much exclusively used in negative connotations. So it's just like, really? We were taken aback by what you make. But yeah, Peterson, I feel you. It's crazy that I went that long without seeing those movies, but Didn't know they existed. Didn't know they existed. And I never really sat down and did like a top action movies search on Google or anything like that ever in my life. I really just found out about movies through randomly encountering them myself or a friend mentioning them or whatever, you know? Masters, what? College and dormitories for munchies, men, and bloated boys. You're going to get arrested for the bloated boys. Rex, your body rejects seafood? It's a good reason not to eat it, man. Cody, trout. No thanks, man. Fisher, you're going to have crabs and lobster. Look at you, fancy boy. It's your late birthday meal. Well, enjoy that. Do I like the Punisher movies too? I remember watching the Punisher. Who was the actor in it? I can't remember who played the Punisher, but I think he chained some guy to a car and then drove the car out, like let the car drive itself off of a roof and drag the guy off the chain. But I don't remember much about it other than I felt like it was underwhelming for a Punisher movie. Habanero says, we reluctantly found your channel and wanted to know if you wanted to collaborate. Yeah, along those lines. It's hilarious. I've been getting bombarded by what I presume when reading them are all fucking scam emails trying to, we want to do this with you and blah, blah, blah. Please click on one of the links in this email. Please, so we can take your shit, you know? Petri, what? Who? Jane. What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about, bro? Taken aback. How funny is that? We were taken aback by what you do. Well, these weren't what I was expecting, but it is interesting. Thomas Jane. Oh, that was the guy who played the Punisher. Fair enough. Fair enough. Juggling, avoid the rock lobster. It wasn't a rock, bro. It was a rock lobster. Just do an intro dress as the old wizard doing Punisher stuff. Get it animated and be shooting goblins. Why don't I just do as an intro as the old wizard sitting at a typewriter and I'm writing out all the regrets of my life. Like the fact that I read anything that you fucking say. How about that? How about that? Peace out, Paul. Have a good one, buddy. Chocolate covered Swedish fish. I can get behind that. I can get behind that and in front of it. I'll get that one from both sides. Oh, yeah, Gonzo, I can tell from your comment that you're trying to share a link in the live stream, but there is a 0 chance on this earth that links are allowed in these live streams because people share the fucking wildest shit, and I ain't vetting it or clicking on anything, so, you know, there's no link sharing here, bro. You don't have to apologize. It auto holds them. I was just letting you know. I was just letting you know that when you try and put them in, Google just auto holds those comments because yeah, people were doing all kinds of ridiculous stuff in the early days, man. Mailmaster, do you think that I saw the Dolph Lundgren one? I doubt it. I didn't know there was a Dolph Lundgren Punisher, but I don't think it was Dolph Lundgren. I think it was somebody else. But I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong about that one. I'm going off a feeling. Petra, you watch so many candy making videos? All right, Willy Wonker. It was like 99. You know what? We've reached the point where I'm just going to search now. Yeah, no, it's Tom Jane. That's the one. Oh, wait, was he the same guy who played... He was in The Expanse as the detective? Yeah, I guess it's the 2004 Punisher. And it was... Dirty Laundry is the best Punisher short? Probably. Probably. Man, it didn't take long for you to backpedal on that one, bro. Oh. Rex used up 3 days to watch a 13-hour lore of one of your favorite childhood toys. Seems like a good use of time, honestly. If you're enjoying it, you know? You spend all your time focusing on, oh, how productive can I be? What can I get out of this? It's like, yo, enjoyment during your actual life has genuine value. Who knows? You might end up in a wheelchair with a woman who hates you, like that guy we saw at the mall today. That was ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Man, oh man. So yeah, I got this Chronicles booster. I got a Chronicles booster right here. And that's what we will use for an opening tonight. So that'll be sweet. Gonzo, your parents sold your old Tonka toys and made bank? Sue them. Take them to prison. You are arrested. I want my dump truck back, Papa. I want my little crane. They're dead? Holy fuck, bro. You killed them? You killed them over the Tonka truck stuff? Well, that's extreme. That is uncalled for. That is uncalled for. Juggle 'em, hell yeah, Chronicles. Hell yeah, buddy. I mean, my parents threw out some of my toys when I was a kid, bro. It didn't murder them. Hot Dice, how's it going, buddy? Hot Dice, check 'em and see. Stupid. Oh, man. It's crazy the things people think of doing. You know, it's like, let's freeze dry candy and see if we can sell it. Apparently, you can. Here it is. I'm proof. I am the proof. All right. Well, you know what? Let's do the Chronicles opening. So, for anybody who's watching this recording afterwards on the live stream channel, this is where the live stream recording is going to end. But if you want to see the actual Chronicles opening of this booster pack, then you can watch that video over on the Hatcher channel. All right. So you'll be able to check that out. It might actually take a day or two to come out. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what's going to be going on. I guess before I do that, I'm going to focus up the camera. I'm going to make sure the camera looks good. All right. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Wait. hold on. Maybe I want to mess with this a bit more. Maybe I want to mess with it a bit more. Make it a bit better if I can. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Whoop. All right. All right. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We'll end off the actual recording of this stream, and then we're gonna do this opening. All right. So check the Hatcher channel if you want to see the opening. If you happen to be watching this, and let's switch over.